now I've seen the light. Oh darling, there ain't no pleasing you. You seem to think that everything I ever did was wrong. I should have known it all along. Oh darling, there ain't no pleasing you. You only had to say a word when you know I do it. You had me where you wanted me, but you went and blew it. Now everything I ever done was only done for you. But now you can go and do just what you want to do. I'm telling you, 'cause I ain't gonna be made to look a fool no more. You've done it once too often, what do you take me for? Oh darling, there ain't no pleasing you. You seem to think that everything I ever did was wrong. I should have known it all along. Oh darling, there ain't no pleasing you. You only had to say the word, and you know I do it. You had me where you wanted me, but you went and blew it. Now everything I ever done was only done for you. But now you can go and do just what you want to do. I'm telling you, 'cause I ain't gonna be made to look a fool no more. You've done it once too often, what do you take me for? Oh darling, there ain't no pleasing you. Now if you think I don't mean what I say and I'm only bluffing, you got another thing coming, I'm telling you that for nothing. 'Cause darling, I'm leaving, that's what I'm gonna do.
This first one is called "Oh, only say it shall be so." And I shall sit in our small back garden on this warm July evening and praise your astuteness, your courage and your bravery. And more than this, I shall seek to honour your memory and keep thoughts of you alive and living every single day. And I shall plant trees for you in precious woodland and scatter seeds to create bee-friendly wildflower meadows. All for you, always for you. And I shall light bonfires on your birthday to recall you, now that you are gone. And burn candles here, there and everywhere, for you, only for you, to spread your light far and wide. Their flames a reminder of you, and more than this, I shall carve your name with pride deep into the side of the tree glow, the sacred Slovene holy mountain, and pay pilgrimage to all the places you ever lived or visited, so that you stand out amongst all the many who have gone before and the many who will come after you. And I shall spray images of you on walls and public buildings all over the land, so that everyone will know of you. And your memory shall outlast statues and monuments and plaques on the sides of houses. And more than this, I shall do everything to ensure you live on. Sorry, I can't read my own writing sometimes. It's full of crossings out. Anyway, you live on and endure like the wind and the rain endure, beyond the thoughts and memories of those who knew you during this life, to make certain that your spirit survives like the shining sun and the pale moon survived, and that your presence, your soul, your ghost, the very thought of you, be felt by generations yet to come. Oh, only say it shall be so. Thank you very much. As we're known as similar vein. This is called As I Go About My Daily Business. As I go about my daily business, such as it is, are you there with me, walking beside me, keeping pace, ever vigilant, watching on, ready to interfere on my behalf, to take my part, reaching out from the other side, poised to give me a sign, and I do not know it, I cannot see it? Or is this just the most wishful of all wishful thinking, clutching at broken straws time, wanting something to be true, when I have no way of knowing, only the fragile hope that yes, you are with me and will be always. Thank you, sir. Third and final poem. This is just called You, because I couldn't, better title hasn't occurred to me. You. You are to me what Pocahontas was to Captain Smith. You are all things to me, for you are my Cleopatra, my own Queen Nefertiti, my personal Helen, the face that launched poem after poem, my Venus de Milo with arms unbroken, my Da Vinci's Mona Lisa, my fancy dame, my Bathsheba Everdeen, my much-missed Ross Regina. All these and more you are to me. But every word of this being true, as it surely is, why, in the name of love, did I not tell you these things each and every single day when you were still around to hear them? Thank you very much. Thanks.
It's called You Want Something to Change. You want something to change to get out of this situation? If only it was as simple as putting on your coat and turning up at the station. You want something to change. You want magic to be performed, a fairy godmother to wave a wand, so you can wake up with everything different, arguments all over, emotions stormed. You want something to change. You don't know what to do. If you did things differently, it would upset lots of people. They might be hurt and angry at you. You want something to change? It starts with you, though others are to blame. Cut through those old ways of thinking. They're looking out for their own needs. It's time for you to do the same. You want something to change, but you've got some dependents. People who want you to stay as you are, sacrificing yourself to look after them. It seems selfish to seek independence. You want something to change, your bosses need you to keep things shipshape, and there are those who ask specially for you. But you're not irreplaceable, that's a hard fact. You're making a change, you're planning escape. You want something to change, start finding out and feeding your dream. Talk to people, do the research, make it strong in your heart, feel your feelings, have a good scream. You want something to change, find people who can help you, who can give you help and support. Go to meetings, create an open door, look out for sabotage, but keep going. Tear apart the nets in which you've been caught. You want something to change, the moment's coming, be ready. Your identity is shifting, you're starting to change. Dare to take a new step, try a new style. The excitement you'll feel may be heady. You want something to change, reach out beyond imaginary bars. You'll need to be brave, stop pleasing others, face their fury, you will survive. Listen to yourself, you can bear the scars. You want something to change, they'll frighten you with threats and fears. They'll tell you you can't and call you bad names. You'll have to stand your ground, confront the arguments and the tears. You want something to change, they're right, there will be problems ahead, some to be expected, some put in your way. Of course it's a risk, but life doesn't stay still. Give up your hopes and you'll be dead. You want something to change, reach out to people who feel the same. Recognise that what's been set up to keep you apart. Break down the barriers that divide you, dissolve prejudice, start by asking their name. We read a poem to each other at the wedding, and this is the one I wrote. And so, who am I to marry, knowing as I do that love can twist away from all that was imaginary? How dare I be an optimist? Yes, who am I, once more to marry, having felt the pain of grief, the ache of loss on every anniversary, setting out to write a new motif? And am I really fit to marry, someone who's trampled through the vows before, thinking that the rules were not obligatory? Am I allowed to try once more? And may I go ahead and marry when those who love me feel left out, their fear of loss expressed as cautionary, whose wise advice I might appear to flout? Maybe I can at last be free to marry, having battled hard to find the truth about my early history, now familiar ghosts from youth. So, should I take the step and marry? Individual choice when there's so much social need, choosing to be linked instead of solitary, asking others to wish me to succeed. I stretch out my hand to the beloved one in hope of full acceptance, warts and all, to share the tears and fun, against all doubts, a moment of resistance, a step for change. I choose to marry, to love this partner and fight for people everywhere, to share a view that's revolutionary and work with others to make life fair. That's the thing. Okay, so this is called Giselle. Sometimes a poem appears in the night, during those restless hours before the dawn, thinking of my mother whose hair turned white, or the day when my daughter was born. I remember the midwife, a man who'd once flown planes in a war, and the heat, and how he'd needed a fan, and how I had crouched on the floor. I learned from my mother how scared she had been, alone and in pain, but ambivalent too. I was much older, but she was 19. I made choices, but she was told what to do. The curtain flaps in the wind, the night air cools my brain. My mother felt she had sinned. She married to avoid a family stain. Now my hair too turns pale, and my girl is wild and free. Against her strength I am quite frail. My heart calls out a plea. Let me rise from my bed and dance like Giselle from the lake, the ghost of deliverance. But still I'm wide awake. My arms and legs stretch out, arabesque of longing expressed. Come back, mother, I want to shout, suddenly realizing I'm distressed. Round and round the ballerina twirled to save her lover from the sirens. She dropped to the ground and then unfurled. I want to see things through a different lens. Yes, I crouched on the floor while you, as fetus, struggled for life. Mother's words came to mind, virgin and whore, virago or sylph, spinster or wife. From my window I can see the moon. My hair splays out across the pillow. I want to swim with you in the lagoon, but in my life now you are but shadow. Exhausted, the battle is won. The owl hoots from the trees. Saved by love, my work is done, and in sleep there comes heart's ease. Peacefully I slide into the water. You must create your own words now. Your turn to be the daughter. Your job to find out how.
Got a few items here on seasons of the year. This time of year in the autumn, in Cardigan Island and places in our western coasts, the grey Atlantic seals are coming over to spend the winter here, and the Canadian geese. So it's just a short reference to that so you understand it. Autumn out west. West is a trip to make as summer sets its sun to bed, and tourists are homebound, and old Wales stirs out of a cloaked, chained chest. A grey sea whispers to the shore's green ground. New arrivals come on thermals and crests, Canadian geese and Atlantic grey seals. Burnt shadows fly over the meadow sweets, and barking with the surf, rolling cartwheels. They've all come and gone for many aeons, without swamping ancient mother tongues. An autumn home just for grass and fish bones. Now's the time to reflect on crass culture runs. There's another one then about early summer in the Welsh hills here. Late hill summer, just ask. Pollen clouds rise from the wind-shaken trees, a feast for the wild mountain black bees. Heathers shyly start to blush our moors. Light as night, early rains, fresh dew falls. Country folk wake up from winter dreams. Late risers lose these early sunbeams. But we can read the red ling and time. It's our hill, we tilt furrows in rhyme. This dukedom that claims a titled trust, his nostrils scent in a carnal must, whose robber barons spoke no English. One thing is sure, they never spoke Welsh. This morning the land might not be free, but ask the wild Welsh mountain black bee, ask the oak blooms, ask and the silver birch tree, and the bent-backed farmer who is free.
Changing colours. We went on the outing to change the way we looked. Sometimes we succeeded and got partially cooked. Our faces and shoulders were suntanned bright red, but they were calamine pink when we went to bed.
About poets, and it's inspired by that page you see in the paper. It says properties for sale, so it says poets for sale. And see if you recognise yourselves in it. Welsh bard. The Tudor interior dates to the 15th century, but the outer shell is the work of the 19th. Thanks to a grant from the Welsh Assembly, there has been much recent development. However, it's a historic heart that is unaffected, a property with charm and heritage appeal. Post-modernist poet, this property is airy, white and spacious. Situated in the academic heights, he looks down on all the other properties in the vicinity. Equipped with all the latest technical devices, this property is a great investment for anyone wishing to take advantage of government incentives and green tax breaks. Archaic rhymester. Frowned upon by many modern critics, this property still has mass appeal thanks to its traditional structure and classical old world style. Some work may be necessary if you wish to make a conversion. A good fixer-upper. Experimental poet. The basic construction is concrete and glass. In fact, there's such a large amount of glass, it's possible to see through the property with a trained eye. He has been completely soundproof, but our legal department must advise you that vacant possession may be a problem. Performance poet. A real down-market bargain, ideal for the first-time buyer. He's always accessible and access is on the ground floor. Affordable for anyone who wishes to take their first step on the poetry ladder. And poem about autumn, October in the fall. The fires of the fall become less hot. You can't grow an oak in a flower pot. No deed of mind or work of hand will stop tomorrow and turn back sand. Without the moon endless seems the night, but then a single star burns most bright. And even if the dawn is not born of thunder, another day is welcome as a thing of wonder.
I wrote this last week. It wasn't planned. It just happened. And I hope that it will change some of your minds about your feelings toward the main character. I'm only doing the one poem. I'm not going to do 3 because this is like a poem story. It's quite long. Waiting for the hunter to finish her breakfast. She straddles the wing mirror edge, a dark shape within its shadow. She's hungry. Watching her determination to secure her prey, 5 times her size. Flight, little spider, sticking threads, swinging wildly. As I drove, she fought the fly to death, refused to let go. How hungry was she? Till the swinging fly spider pendulum dropped lower and lower, bizarrely in double mirror's reflection. Stopped on the roadside waiting. She's feeding. Can she see me through our window, watching, waiting for one whose hunt was so brave? I stopped, ashamed for a spider so savage to drop a busy road. One leg holding a thread, weight of fly pulling, the rest as she grabbed and fought for breakfast. No easy jaunt to Tesco's for this 8-legged hunter, and by God, she needed all those legs to hang on, to fight, to wrap up that battling fly. Quiet now. She's still feeding, immune, I guess, to fly diseases, drinking more than her body weight in fly juices. How long will such a fly feast suffice? I wonder, and how long must I wait here when I could be home having breakfast? If I drive off, will they blow off? How long does a spider need to suck a fly 5 times its size dry? How long will I wait? Buses pass, numerous cars, a recycling lorry, chemtrails filling up the blue sky, people walking dogs both ways, birds fly about their morning business, and still I reside at the side of the road, parked up, waiting. She feeds on, oblivious to my desire to press on with the morning. Maybe I should simply sit here and meditate, make the most of this time I am giving her to finish off her juicy fly. I wonder if flies have different flavours. Blue, sweet, black, sour, brown could be spider chocolate, or shit. How do I know a spider's taste preferences? Maybe tiny mosquitoes are power balls, and bees taste of flowers, wasps of steak, and other spiders. Do spiders eat spiders? Of course they do. Females eat males, mothers sacrifice for their babies to survive. There's a whole spider world going on out there. Alongside our humanized version, look at Spider-Man. He's got the strength, but not the taste for fly flesh. She's still eating. I think now, where is her stomach? It must be very stretchy. Flies must be extremely nutritious to her. Adapted she is obviously to hunt them with her beautiful sticky webs. Oh, to slay them and package them with her fangs, toxin and sticky threads better than any cling film. She's still feeding. The spiders have yard of fly drinking competitions. At spider gatherings do they party on through the night when we humans think they're asleep or busy spinning flying insect traps. They're really partying all night, having sex and flies and rock and roll. They're drummers renowned throughout the insect world as the best. 8 legs, who can compete with that? Then spider rock stars sleep all day, letting their silky sticky web bed catch their food ready for when they awake. Maybe that's why this wing mirror spider fought so hard. She's a rebel female drummer. Is it true only males can drum? And she was so hungry after an all-night party, she's gonna eat her fill and sleep off the thrills after. Or maybe she dropped from the sky last night and decided, after sliding down my car roof, that its wing mirror was a perfect place to have a secret spider cave, to lie in wait for unsuspecting fly passes. Dare I start the engine and drive on? Somehow I feel connected to these two. Every being eats every being on this world. That's how we survive. Unless we're clever green ones who make their own photosynthesis, recycling on an atomic level. It's all miracles. And I'm not keen to end the life of the miracle perched on my wing mirror, still gorging breakfast. It is a very big breakfast. Fly comparison to her size. I guess I'll just wait a bit longer. Are you okay for part 2?
Yeah.
Oh my God, the recycling lorry is returning down this side of the road. How long have I waited? I press the window button down to have a closer look. Is she close to finishing? Her mouth is glistening like some beer drinker's moustache gleaming froth. She's drinking from a body 5 times her size, equivalent to me drinking a transit van dry. Oh my God, I could be here till next week. I'm going to risk it. I think I need a pee now, and a coffee. I need my breakfast. Part 3. Here goes. I'm going to go. Part 4. Made it as far as all it is. The semi-desiccated fly blew about a bit, past 20 miles per hour, so I drove slow because she wouldn't let go. Part 5. Home. Safe. Just about. Another car hit mine. Its driver young. She didn't look in her wing mirror. I shared coffee with a friend who photographed the damage, but a man arrived bringing polish. He rubbed away crash marks and popped plastic bumpers back. Amazing! But not quite as miraculous as the little miracle with 8 legs, still lodged within the wing mirror casing. What do I do now? She's home, safe and sound. Do I dangle dead flies, throw them at her web, or does the struggle and the fight entice her like kittens on mice? As a future passenger, what will happen on the motorway at double the speed? Will the G-force get her and blow her to doom? Or up in the air where she'll make a spin parachute to ride within? Do I leave her in peace, let nature take its course? Will she leave home alone? Or be washed away by Welsh rain? Oh my, oh dear, such a tiny spider, waiting in the wing. Spider, spider, clinging tight. What immortal hand or eye gave your limbs such might that you can hold where others fall? You can weave unrevealed silver strings that vibrate tunes. Do different creatures create different rhythms as they dance their deathly airs? Are you the maestro who listens and reads music through 8 tours? If butterflies taste via legs, do spiders hear music via threads vibrating in windsong or insect death throes. A spider so unique and so different, they terrify us monster big humans, unless fascinated by little miracles and the wonder of a life that resides within my car's wing mirror. And that's dedicated to Miracle Spider.
This one's called Dice Man Blues. When you're out for the count, down on the floor, and a crowd is screaming out for more, and the dealer's dealt you a lousy hand, and you've already received 3 final demands, and your fuses are blown, and your mind is sunk, and your inbox is full of spam and junk, and you're running on empty across a frozen sky, and all you want to do is curl up and die, and you ain't got a nickel, you ain't got a dime. You've got that awful feeling that you're running out of time. You're running out of luck when luck was all you ever had, and the voices in your head say you're sick and you're mad, and there's no way out. You're left with no choice. And even the Samaritans are sick of your voice. And your brains are blown like a nuclear blast, and the 4 Dark Riders are coming up fast. Well, I can't guarantee it ain't worth a fuck. But if, just if, you've got the right sort of luck, the right sort of luck, not the wrong kind, the sort that's been fucking up your mind, then just at that point, when you're right on the brink and you can't even recognize your own fingerprints, someone will come with a throw of the dice and say, "Tell me, honey, where you been all my life?" The Robber and the Judge. Rain bursts the sky's grimy membrane, exploding like concrete on steel. Traitors make plans of betrayal and lie when their scheming's revealed. Corrupt and rank opportunists with no principles there to suffice. They believe with each cell in their body that every man has his price. Rain drips like blood from the branches, bringing echoes like ghosts on the wind, and the angels are travelling backwards through a landscape of forgotten sins. The limits of life are outrageous. The snake cannot shed its own skin, and hunger, love, and desire are out on a 7-day binge. You have enemies? Good. For that tells me that you did give a fuck in this life. And although you don't really know me, you don't have to look at me twice. Define yourself if you can manage. Create yourself if you can. Me, I learned to accept my own failures before I went down on remand. But do not presume here to judge me unless you'd like a taste of my knife. For I don't believe in your justice, just as you have no grasp of my life. And when finally the last trump is sounded and we come to the end of the game, you'll find out your disintegration and mine will be one and the same. But there's one thing you ought to remember as your manservant powders your face, while our class is robbed and degraded. nothing you know will be safe. Thanks, folks.
Keeping with a lot of the poems that have been read. It's about love lasting through the years, and it is called Love Lasts. Will you love me when I'm old? When all my secrets have been told? When my shining hair grows white? When my eyes are dim of sight? Will you love me, will you? When my thoughts become askew? When my face is tired and lined? When my teeth begin to grind? Will you love me when I fail? When my body won't prevail? When outward beauty fades away, if younger eyes than mine still play? For more and more I am within a deeper water and a skin. I'm more than just the outward things. As I grow old, my spirit springs. I am aware of more than bones. My heart is full of ringing tones, and all the furrows on my face reflect my life, my inside grace. So, will you love me when I die? When I whisper that goodbye? Please be there and love me still. Love me, take your fill. We've been together all this time. I love you with a love sublime. Though many things evaporate, love always lasts beyond the gate. Thank you. Sing a song that's very in keeping with a lot of poems that have been read and with the season, and it is Autumn Leaves. Red and
the light. Swarming birds shape to sight, painting a lesson there to be seen, like the flight of humans has ever been. Each bird's self pin picked bright, saves itself, be that wrong or right. Safe within but not outside. That's the way of all folk too, be they many or be they few. So we're in the middle of a swarm into the future. Global warming. Of course, there's a conference in the world about the warming of the planet caused by the activity of humanity. Global warming. Tonight, the sea is troubled, its deeps depressed, dark and old, its rage revealed by gentle ripples from terrors still untold. The beast inhabits earth's crust-cracked crevices, tumbled top-down Everests, in Blackwater sky, where man's power, ever feeble, tests nature's will to live or die. Let the sea sleep, man, its roots, in far recesses where pin lights of life rest in timeless vaults of shapeless night. The sea awaits life's turning. Oh, so much it waits and craves. Tomorrow is its pleasure, tomorrow it's right. But tomorrow, man, is not yet tomorrow. Tonight the blackness sleeps. In hours of dark before you, know life's secret. Seek truth or weep. Tomorrow, man, tomorrow, black terror claims with light the world. You. Light. Thank you. Now life will end, not only us, but all other life will end the world, or the world will end life. Which it will be, I'll not be there to see. The years slip by too fast for me to be the last. But you, my friend, could be that one when all that's been has passed. So like me, have no care, the hour that ends is there. Seek then to leave, not grieve, but the last word to lose is believe, believe.
Now, this is a little bit about change, and it's entitled, Are You Getting Fat? Now, I was, about a month ago, I met somebody called Tom Phelps. I don't know how many of you have heard of him. He lives in the Rhondda, and he started writing poems about Welsh humour. And he was really amusing the night that I listened to him, so I'm going to read one of his poems tonight. They're a happy couple, well, happy-ish then, like they have the odd argument now and then. But most days, well, some days, well, occasionally, they're the perfect example of matrimony. But last week, or the week before that, he said to her, "Are you getting fat?" She was quiet for a while as she glowered at his smile, and then she exploded like a flying missile. She said, "Fat, fat. I know someone who don't want to talk, someone with a belly that do wobble when you walk. And I know a man near me with thinning hair who's got a wardrobe full of clothes that he can't wear." "Oh, hang about," he said. "You've got it all wrong, love." She said, "I'll give him got it all wrong, heavens above, who have got trousers where the fronts won't meet, and if he does get them on, well, you should see the seat. It stretches so tight, it's like a big bass drum. I've never seen a bigger bottom." "Oh, wait, hold your horses," he started to say, but she interrupted because she was well on her way. Shirts so tight they do stay in the drawer, though I'm blowed if I know what it's keeping them for. He used to buy railbrooks, 14.5. When it went up to 15, we had a bit of a laugh. Now 16.5, he can't get on, nor 17 neither, no, those days are gone. Throw them away? Oh no, he refused to, and even his pants don't look like they used to. Oh no, we don't want to talk fat, because I know who'd get the worst of that. He sat there behind his Western mail, waiting for the calming of the force 10 gale. Can I speak now, he said, can I try to explain, without you blowing your top again? She had gone silent and finger-tapped the table. He said, listen, oh love, and I'll tell you as best as I'm able. There is meat in that oven, ready for cooking, and it's dry like, no fat or lard from where I'm looking. So I said to you, innocent as can be, are you getting fat? For the meat? And you blew up at me. I didn't mean you. Are you getting fat? No, you know me, I wouldn't say that. That answer gave her a bit of surprise, but she looked at him long through narrowing eyes. Are you sure when you said that you didn't mean me? If you didn't, I'm sorry, but you're so clever, see? It wouldn't be the first time for you to pull the wool, but I'm not daft, oh no, I'm not dull. But I apologise. Yes, if that's what you say is true. I must say sorry to you. He nodded and said, it's all right, it's over and done. Your figure is good, girl. You're as smart as anyone. She thought, I am too touchy, of course I'm not getting fat. And he thought, phew, I was lucky to get away with that.
Okay, I'm going to start with a poem about Guernica, and it's called The Moment. The wind brought drones, angel of death, shockwaves, eagles risen above machine thunder. Bull, beast, blast, hands, limbs, fingers, rings, buttons, glass, bricks, detonated, deafened, deadened. A new Passover, racing against blood, enacting the test. And out of the smoke of eyes killed in the sun come new days, cycle of sun and nights of stone. The artist Picasso, his sorrow of shadow is cast across a wordless frieze of terror. The second poem I'm going to read is called Green Man. Mist drifts through webs, rain flecked. From the house, from the ivy way, all paths spiral, shadowed by green ruins, unravelled to the sky. And beyond, the forest is ghost. Walk in the night, walk to your rest. Look and kneel under the beat moon and the pitiless stars upon the green man, moss-cheeked, ivy-bearded, who stares deathless through you. It's called 4-5 Commando. Dartmoor Speed March 66, 30 miles do or die. Dehumans, rake thin, carry loads on backs. Thick boots, breath beaten, noses, jaws like blades of cattle bones littered en route. Men of arms of 4-5 Commando see beyond the upland hill rim, promise of rain, to a green beret beyond spit, pain. Checkpoints of stones, jokes are thin, frame ache, sting of sweat, body rack, past forest tracks, where whippet lads lead and bigger lads wane. Okay. This poem is quite short and it's just called Frost. Carrying on with the theme of the evening, apart from change, autumn. Frost. Concrete is crystalline. Cold light of halogen. Steel through night, procession of chrome. Smooth arc of moon at the end of breath. Planets bright, pure light. Between rise of star, sun, and down of dusk, with all motion encircling Polaris. Thank you very much.
It is not true, of course. Slender, delicate saplings moss the straits, greyhounds on leash outside their masters' chateaux. By Penman's well, the lush growth droops over crests and nettle, the too thin limbs of adolescence. Inland, the thorn trees bend low on the skyline, shaped by the wind. Not beautiful, these. Wind-carved, they lean on the earth, grow stubborn from rock banks, bind down the hard-purchased soil in the stony fields. The invisible god they house can't be reached by the axe. When Paulinus's legions found druids, catcalling hags, the whole gamut of hellfire, quiet groves flourish. What Rome would destroy, the bulldozer flattens to house new invasions. No one destroys the thorn trees. They do not grow on desirable land. As the sculptor frees from the stone the perfected image, so wind and water and fire loose the tree. Bending, it saves itself, yet will not yield, bears beauty each year in grace notes of sturdy blossom. These the inheritors through the long ages, bearing the memory of the falling groves. Whether they do or not, I don't know, but I like to think they do. Yeah. Even when I first saw it, there was more than this. And you remember it green, the clustered leaves still stirring the last few twigs in a swirling wind. Not a rural giant, magnificent king of a dairy-maid pastoral. Alas, always a town dweller this, flourishing here among battles and market days. The smoke of burning Ferrer blows over its crest, witness of centuries of hard bargains and bitter words, exultations of lovers singing like larks in the sun. This tree is no symbol of timeless ages. Familiar, it lived in the minds of housewife and scholar, shopkeeper, labourer, clerk, a remembered coolness, a shimmer of light on the dust, a black tower in winter. Surviving the hazards of nature, it lurched to its death blow from a 20th century lorry, bled petrol and dies. And yet it inspired its bard, that primeval wizard lost in the numbing darkness of an ancient night. A laughable story, of course, and historians offer a pedigree much less romantic. But still in the mind, those great roots reach back to the earliest days of hill fort and villa, the roots of community carved in the skin of these hills. The poor verse has a truth that we seldom admit. Elsewhere, the pastoral oaks will survive as long as the farmer, or longer. Here we must sow, must work for our harvest. And yet no one has planted an acorn. I'm happy to say that apparently some school children did eventually plant an acorn. So there we are. Yeah. Ode to the corn muffin. If jam is jelly and jelly is jam, biscuits are cookies and bacon is ham, yet nothing, oh nothing of all that I see can hush the corn muffin that's calling to me. Now mushrooms bring visions and cheese it brings dreams. But after corn muffins, no thing's what it seems, when plain Coca-Cola's as potent as beer and invisible telephones ring in the ear. Some Volksbrot I've eaten and dog biscuits too, and at school have rejoiced in a rich earwig stew, have we all. But the utmost in eating, the true apogee, I freely admit the corn muffin to be. Yeah. I don't know if anything. Australian study tour, March 1963. Travelling, travelling, travelling on, by plain and by river, our autobahn gone, by village and valley, by castle and shrine, in draught and in racket, by station and line. Too high is our coach and too low is the bridge. Back up and back over, then follow the ridge. It's only another 10 miles or more, and though we are late, but our welcome is sure. Too long at the Abbey, then cut out the books. They're always the same wherever one looks. No, stick to the vital engagements we must. Lunch is important, where volumes are dust. Bones and Baroque, the notorious bead, the habits of emperors, food's what we need. And when we journey, and often we journey by cottage and plough, to inspect a new library, business comes now. But don't take too long, for there's dinner to eat, caviar, cake and a delicate meat. The speeches are short and the liquor flows free, and no one could wish in far Camden to be. Oh, Austria Felix, they named thee of old, now Austria Alma we gladly behold. Only one thing more we wonder as we, only one thing mars the wonders is how to return to the Poly Canteen. Yes, we survived that one too. Austria Alma.
Come with me on a sojourn at Mumbles. Fringe theatre. A veering, iridescent escarpment tumbles towards vast vistas. Serenade, serendipity, and surrender to serenity as a seascape unfolds and enfolds us in infinite translucence. A heron-grey promenade fringes pebble-dashed shores which bewitch winsome ramblers who wander within wonder. Semicircular is the seemingly embroidered bay nearby. Seamless, sandy strands symmetrically sewn into its thimble-thin periphery endlessly entreat a cotton spool moon to pin back ebullient tides. Whipping, whopping, whomping waves weave poetical spiels, spells. Arch and arching, rhythmic, rhymester rollers froth forth, buffeting, buffs, ricocheting off zigzag, jagged crags. How impertinently every breaker crests, impenitently slapping, slopping, slipping o'er our sloping coast to Tritus, smothering, jingling shingle, shimmering, never stilling, ever swilling swells, cerulean hues, whirl and billow below. Hurrying herring, slink, slick, silk, sleek. Such mercurial fish shimmy like quicksilver, a Piscean simile, submerged amongst shifting shadows. Snapping, snipping, sniping. Shelly, I'll start that again. Princess pincers, a royally crabby crustacean, nimbly nips across slippy, slimy seaweed, pinching squidgy winkles, pinioning squirmy shrimps, squelching, squishy, gooey, anemone, enemies aplenty. Snapping, snipping, sniping, she sidles, wonky and unseen, twisting tetchily, skittering twitchily, twixt titchy tigglers, perennially playing hide and sneak. churning ocean's commotion seems ceaseless. Yet there is poetry in no motion on this glittering littoral. Permanently reticent, transiently resident, and intransigently recalcitrant are limpets. The multifarious mini-critters appear ineluctably reluctant to gallivant, so live dead still as alacrity's antithesis. Inconspicuously embedded within myriad limpid pools, teeny-weeny invertebrates of their pyramidal ilk have what one might liken to a liking for lichen. Those ubiquitous, shiftless, no-go, oh-so-slow souls hold fast to rasping rocks. At weary war with celeritas currents, these wary sea creatures secretly secrete shell selves inside coves, caves. Surrounded by many blennies, they look to lurk undercover as part of the wrench resistance movement. Each pearlescent gleam eminently emanating from a lofty lighthouse intermittently illuminates, evidently enlightens roaming mariners, imminently eliminates elemental danger. Wheeling serenely, becoming beams demolish dim, doomy gloom for becoming savvy sailors, saviors. A sea-shelled seal shall see Siri soar at that seashore, besprinkled amid silvered, sliver sack skies, wisp, wisp, whisper, and meander everywhere on a whippy wind's whim. Corralled by swirling gales in an eerily ethereal auroral squall, coastal gulls circle aerially, calling chorally, airily, hourly, orally, assailing all. Thank you.
Summertime, and the living is easy. Fish are jumping, and the cotton is high. Your daddy's rich, and your mama's good looking. So hush, little baby, don't you cry. One of these mornings, you're gonna rise up singing. Then you'll spread your wings, and you'll take to the sky. But until that morning, there's nothing can harm you. With Mammy, Daddy standing by. You know it's summertime, and the living is easy. Fish are jumping, and the cotton is high. The cotton's as high as an elephant's eye. Your daddy's rich, and your mama's good looking. So hush, little baby, don't you cry.
It was definitely a deliberate fondle, and with all 5 digits too. Another lurch, and Carol edged a further centimetre into the large lady's cold, soft upper arm. Her own left arm was sending out small, silent warnings that she was at the end of her tether. Her right arm was jammed between her shoulder and her own right breast and was threatening to go into cramp at any second, while somebody's umbrella was digging into her upper thigh. She was cornered. This book is about change. Do we fight or don't we? Once in Royal David City, which is called Bethlehem. I won't try and sing it. Once in Royal David City, in a land called Palestine, Jews and Arabs lived together, and they got along just fine. Shared and farmed the land together. Neither one cried, "This is mine." Till the Zionists came calling, backed by Britain and the States, looking for a useful ally, a well-armed watchdog at the gates. Who can never understand how all our oil got under Arab sand? In 1947, the terror, villagers killed or forced to roam. Ever since, in West Bank and Gaza, Palestine can't come home. We have seen all this before, racism enshrined in war, lives destroyed and thousands died, and its name is apartheid. Now through the land of David City runs a 40-foot-high wall. We need a new state altogether, one that can include us all. Jew and Gentile can't live together? What a Zionists live with hate, but Jews around the world have shown that they don't support this racist state. Zionism is a tyrant. How can we fight tyranny? Same old question, same old answer. Its name is solidarity. Palestine's no more alone. We can each tear down a stone. Once in Royal David City, in a land called Palestine, Jews and Arabs lived together, and they got along just fine. Shared and farmed the land together, and neither one cried, "This is mine." Now the whole wide world can see Palestine must once more be free. Thank you.
This poem is called Poseidon and Amphitrite. Storms surge, winds whip waves, break, slip on splintered rocks. He rises from deluged darkness, sea stripped waist high in wide waters. Spume of beard torrent run, rain rivulet streak, stream down sinew courses, steeples of bones, eyes lidded black, cave jawed, granite stoned, he towers. Silent, sentient, silver shaped, platinum pale, in pools of darkened eyes, inchoate, and a necklace of stars, embers of flame gold, her hands shimmer, a radiance of white, from black shades of heart's blue shadow. Darkwards their spaces meet, near wreck of rocks, rain and spray, shaken to each other's grave touch, nerves molten, she takes his craving hand. They twist incarnate, surge with drums of deep earth. The anvil blows of fire god, raptured in carnal blood, and spirit away at dawn through her spectral gaze. Thank you. This is Origin. You came into a sun world, coaxing palms, beating you from origin, beating a breath out of your stillness. A breaking cry cleared your darkness, and when I held you, I didn't know how I knew your pulse. and every intelligence. We held the small, swaddled life by turns, life that was us, but not ours. And Mum, who carried you, could look upon you as a gift of paradise. You belong to the world, to rose-red rivers dipped by the sun, to the white path of light in darkest night, to frosts of fire beyond our dawn. Thank you. It's a real poem, and it's called Heaven. Heaven. The prophet gazes up at the bejeweled firmament. Through holy hands and a Promethean gift of sight, she sees through eons, through pillars of creation, to a place called heaven. Beyond crescendo arcs of light, black shores bow, with shock of broken wings, black feathers quiver across dunes of desiccated ice. And it was here that they sang in exaltation. The nightmare bore the atom, the tiny part was shot before the giant burst and burned. And as they look up to pray, people of Eden, only one, the prodigal woman, can see a place of no transmission. Thank you.
It's called If I Thought You'd Ever Change Your Mind. I would bring you flowers in the morning, white roses as the sun begins to shine, sweet perfume in tiny jeweled caskets. If I thought you'd ever change your mind, and I would take you where the music's sweetest, feed you winter fruits and summer wine, show you things you've only read in storybooks. If I thought you'd ever change your mind, I would bring you happiness wrapped up in a box, I'm on the cast and it's called Dream a Little Dream of Me.
The future is another country. I can only take certain things with me. My packing must be light so as not to weigh me or you down. I need books. I need to know history so I don't make the same mistakes as those who went before. I need to make connection with the spirits of the past who knew that women were not castrated men but creatures who made choices, and that men might try to arrange things to suit themselves, who knew that people will comply with the voice of authority, the uniform of the state, the fear of the truncheon, the crack of gunshot, who knew that love is the only thing that can save us. The future is another country. I need to know my strengths, take an inventory. I can laugh, thank God, for in my laughter is the joy of drawing breath, and in my laughter is the reason for going on. I can cook. I can throw ingredients together. Turmeric to save us from viruses, feverfew to calm headaches, mint to refresh and delight us, coriander seed on wafers made with honey to feed us. I can bring courage. I will hold your hand. I can walk ahead and step round the craters and the road humps and use my stick to fend off dangers. I can bring a determination to be beside you. And when we look out at the minarets and the domes and at the murmuration of starlings, the tumbling of waterfalls and the rumbling of quakes, entreat me not to leave you. I want to be still there the morning after, when the struggle is over and the body count starts, sharing the wafers and making the coffee, talking with those whose losses legitimate the plans for a new world. Wherever you go, I will go, travelling light but strong. I will bring the hope that love can reach across the bitter pond, can heal the price we have to pay. Your world will be my world, your people will be my people. Entreat me not to leave you, and in my choosing to be with you, the future becomes another country. This is called Headland and came from a walk we had the other day near Swansea. As I round the headland, I see her paddleboarding in the middle of the sea, alone in the great swathe of ocean, under the firmament of blue and white, a lone figure in the enormous silence. The sea is flat, undulating softly with a steady roar, and I think what a marvellous thing to be out there in a vast ocean. No one to call, no mobile phone, just there, perfectly balanced on a board. She goes out farther, round the cove, staying away from the rocks, where I see a lone fisherman casting his line. I look back towards the shore, gulls float on the incoming tide, people sit on the terrace by the huts, sharing jugs of champagne punch or lattes with an extra shot. I pass the burned trees, blackened branches with green shoots fighting back to life. Above me, a solitary microlight buzzes by, someone up there heading into the clouds, and a speedboat orbiting the coastline, sending out ripples far away from my lone paddler. Of course she knows what she's doing. She knows her own strength. She launches out farther and farther into the evening sun, and the tranquility of this calm bay, heading for the point where the currents meet. It has nothing to do with me, and it has everything to do with me. I want her to return safely to shore. Will she step onto the sand in her wetsuit, bare feet, dripping wet hair, look back at the sunset and the expanse she's traversed and walk on into the hills? Or will she walk over to the terrace, join friends, smile and share a beer? I pass the blackened trees again, past the lovers, the widowers, the divorcees, the backpackers, bird watchers, dog walkers, and the lone fisherman now scrambling up the rocks. I catch each nod, hello and good evening, past the bench where the solitary bunch of yellow flowers marks an anniversary long gone. She's still out there, upright, her strong arms sculling. Ahead of me, the headland curves into cliff. The moon appears behind the clouds, and the birds in the bushes start their twilight murmur.
Leaves. Last year I did not sweep the dead leaves. Now with frost they rustle at my door, like barren old seedless wheat sheaves, as the cold wind sweeps down off the moor. The rolling mills mill metal no more. Coal lies locked below from cut-in reeds. The tide slaps idly on the lee shore. No cargo wears for the wharf's way leaves. Let no one accept defeat with ease. We can stand alone in pride, be sure. Rise up and sweep away all drossed ways. Let our spring days live, hope, endure. Another one. Longing days. Bittersweet at the waters meet. Cool the drink in this summer heat. Cotton grass above the heather basks with ling in the sudden high weather. Kites soar with freckled swallowtails, beckon us below to their wails. Dragonflies hover in long time, wings beat in a flossy blue rime. The mountain dew I sup tonight, a coarse, proofed potato spirit, burns and sears throats of long lost scents, of innocence before incense. Days just hang and last forever. Memories stream to a river, to be dredged out in cold old age. Eras lost of those longing days.
Even here, amongst such deserts, lived creatures struggling in the heat of the sun. Little toes lifting, cooling as they ran about, feeding where food could be found. Amazing. Then vast plains of wildebeest, giraffe, elephants. The elephants lifted their trunks to me. The others ignored my swooping flight. Suddenly, a vast, dark hole in the ground. Past Ascension Island it lay, deep beneath the ocean. Only my flight shuddered as I passed it and felt its sickness as I lifted above it to look. What is this? I questioned the Earth Mother. What is wrong? What has happened to create this dark space?
It's the bomb, child. Nuclear waste is eating my body, has destroyed my skin like cancer. I struggle to contain its terrible effects.
But Earth Mother, you can heal everyone.
Not this time, child. It's too much, even for me. The darkest of filth is killing me. The trees cannot feed me enough golden light. They take the trees too, you see.
But I don't understand. Why do they harm you like this? You who are so kind and so lovely.
'Tis fear, child. Fear of themselves. They imagine they are separate from the rest of us. Believe they know better than to trust us. So they destroy that which they cover.
Poem I wrote for her. It's called Joan, for my mother. First things first, your name was Joan. You died of the cancer that had already taken away your breast on July the 18th, 1978, age 53. What can I remember? Crying as your coffin went into the ground, and the enormity of my loss swept over me. What else? I remember, before the harshness of the cancer bit into you, how beautiful you were. Your dark features, your brown hair, your eyes full of love and a very adult innocence. What else? Your fingers moving deftly over the piano keys as you played the Yellow Rose of Texas and the other cheesy sheet music that you loved. Your oil paintings, the artistry that came down through your father and you, so that a little bit of you and he come to life in every poem I write. What else? What else? My guilt, the drugged out craziness as I did time in Cardiff and Sambatore, the awful feeling that somehow I was responsible for the stress that triggered the cancer, that it was I who killed you. What else? I remember looking at your dead face as you lay in the coffin, thinking how you looked simply asleep. And a terrible yearning rose up in me that somehow I could make you live again. What else? The realization that bit into me finally that you were really dead. And the desolation when I suddenly knew that what is done and we cannot go back. We cannot change one speck of it, one grain of sand, one feather of one bird's wing, 1 second, 1 moment, one broken heart. Did I break your heart? Because your death broke mine. How poorly I repaid your love, how much you gave me, and how little I gave you back. No matter what suffering I dealt you, you were still my mother. And you still love me. You still love me. And back I go to the cemetery, and the tears mix with the wind and the rain. And while I know that grief never ends, and while the love came too late from my broken heart, now every act becomes a ritual of atonement. Every poem is a jewel I place on your eyes. Every word is a kiss I place on your cheek. Every thought is my music of love for you. A music of love that plays forever. A music that now can never die. Thank you. Relationships, and it's called Love Knots. I love you. I hate you. I hate you. I love you. I hate you because I love you. I love my hate for you because you hate your love for me. I hate my hate for you because you love your love for me. You hate your hate for me because I love my love for you. You hate me because I love you. You love me because I hate you. You hate your love for me because it can hurt you. And I hate my love for you for the same reason. But not to be loved by you can hurt me too. And not to be loved by me can hurt you too. So, I love hating you as much as you love hurting me. And you love hurting me as much as I love hating you. So, I hurt you to see how much you love me. And you hurt me to see how much I love you. I love you. I hate you. Hate you. I love you.
Anyway, so the Pickled Crusader, Danbury, 1779. Floating in mushroom ketchup, bald but clean, he faces the men of science. They, in turn, lacking undue respect, poke, pry, and taste. A flavour of Spanish olives, pickled, teeth perfectly white, the body tolerably perfect, wearing a shirt of linen, narrow lace sewed to the bosom, stitching both plain and firm, liquor with flowers, herbs, and flowers floating, 5 feet and a little in height, left foot come off from the leg when pushed by a walking stick. One, lacking decorum, ventures beyond mere sight, tasting the coffin liquor. His trade perhaps leaves him accustomed to such liberties. To him indeed we owe the whole account, precise, dispassionate, 3 archaeologists almost before their time, and he the first, watching the Chinese puzzle of the grave open a row of boxes, elm and lead. The corpse preserved looms in the greyish fluid. Notebooks out, they tidy away each tremor, write their qualms, deep under observation of the facts. Later they open the door and let them in. Curious peasant and farmer. Such immortality puzzles their mortal minds. Is he dead, they said? Is he sleeping? But got no reply. Poems for his children, Edward Thomas. Critics dismiss them, of course, mere bagatelles, fancies for children, a game for an idle hour. They don't know what the names represent. Shallow bowels, Lilliput screens, Havering, Pergo. He knew, could not have ignored those legends of terror and pain. Which was the queen that he saw in Havering Palace alone, and refused that green mound to his child after all? Mad Joanna, perhaps, condemned by a son-in-law's greed to the fire as a witch. Or Elizabeth, in company always alone, recalling a desolate child, daughter of shadows, married to power. Oh, he knew, no doubt of it, just what they meant, those pleasant, quaint names. And less glamorous tales. Reislacher, the drover, hung up beside his 2 friends in the marketplace just down the road, condemned for a theft. Or Elizabeth Balls, who became the Havering goat woman, grotesque on a carpet of down, reprover of fools. No, not for the scholars such things, but he would have heard and known kinship with these. Codham, cock-ridden, south-wheeled, a litany for the damned, margaretting and cockerels, screens, dagnums, and gallows corner. Thank you.
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze blowing on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. Thank you.
This is a song by a lady with extremely long hair. You might know it. I can't make it fit the theme of change, though, I don't think. And it's called Don't It Make My Brown Eyes Blue by Crystal Gale.